Hello. This is how's everybody doing? This is Leftovers, season 3, episode 3. It's called White uh Crazy White Fella Thinking, I think it was. Um oh, check this out. So last episode, I had to look I found out after I watched it that the Marklin Baker who presents the information to Nora and sets everything up is actually the Marklin Baker of Perfect Strangers fame. I did not know because I don't know anything about Perfect Strangers. The one sitcom. I mean, I watched a ton of 80s, 90s sitcom and stuff. I did not watch Perfect Strangers, but Balky sounds familiar. But I don't know where I heard that name. Probably just in passing on a podcast or something. But I did not. I never watched the show, and I found out all this stuff about it. See, if, in my back of my mind, I vaguely remember in season 1 in a grocery store, I think. On the TV, they even showed it. They showed a sitcom briefly, and they mentioned something like all but one of all his co-stars were disappeared except for him. And I never put two and two together. I assume I never said anything because I thought it was a separate. It's probably a different show, right? It can't be the same one. I should have thought better because I should have thought again about that because this show always connects. They don't put that in there for no reason. You know what I mean? This is mind-bogglingly bizarre, but also incredible. Incredibly well planned out. It's. Did he really have this whole thing set up from back then? Oh, and what the heck, right? This is nuts. Who would have thought that that a small little mention of a sitcom thing, you know, kind of showing us a different world over there about how celebrities were experiencing this thing, and all the way later in season 3, it would come back in a big way, where Marklin Baker. I mean, who would have thought that Marklin Baker from Perfect Strangers would be playing himself and giving out the biggest information of the season 3, setting up everything to come forward. He's playing himself, by the way, mind you. He's playing himself as if he existed in this world and he had lost all his co-stars, who he would be, who gets a. He must have been he must have been happy that must have been fun to do because who else gets the opportunity to do such a strange concept of a thing. Um, he 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 suffered greatly and he needed to finances. He said he wanted to take control, So he became part of this whole thing. Who would have thought he's actually connected to what may be, if it's real, the final solution to all of this. That is just that it happens to be. It's the guy from Perfect Strangers who did it. It's so weird. That's so weird. I actually checked it out. I looked it up. I was watching the first episode of Perfect Strangers just to see where all this came from and everything. And that was nuts. And then I found out the song in the beginning of the episode was also from the show. I didn't know that either. Obviously, I thought, wow, this is a really upbeat song for. But then again, the last one was kind of upbeat as well. But I didn't know what it had to do with the show. I really thought that was gonna be the sitcom. That was gonna be the song. I'm guessing it's gonna change now, so it'd be interesting to see what the song is actually gonna be now. But that was such a threw me for a loop, man. Second episode having that song. I swear, I knew it sounded like a '90s um like a '90s sitcom theme song. That's exactly what it was. Uh, '80s, '90s, but it, it's neat to see that it definitely has that feel to it that you can actually pick it out. If you listen to enough sitcoms from the era, that you can pick out that that definitely doesn't sound like today's stuff. That sounds like something from back then, kind of thing. Anyway, So that is crazy. That is another level of insanity, and this show is officially the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like this. That uses such random references and then brings it back in really heavy ways. You never know. You never know. If I don't know. Um, you gotta go back and link all of the little issues that are happening. I mean, like and I don't know if he saw if you look down and you saw a napkin on the ground, you gotta wonder now, when's that gonna come back? It's gonna all be impactful at some point. At some point in this freaking show, apparently, makes you want to go back and check the whole thing out to see where the hell everything lands. If it was planned that far in advance, that's a whole nother level that most. I don't know if I've ever seen a show that well planned. Most shows, they gotta hit the ground running, and they don't get a chance to think about a lot of stuff. I think not like this. This show seems to have planned itself out so that things in season 3 will connect to season 1 and season 2, and it's like it's backwards almost like they made season 3 first so that they could make season 1. That is really cool, actually. That's actually a brilliant way to do it, where you have the whole thing pretty much laid out, so then you can do stuff like this where stuff in season 1, comes back in big ways all the way near the end and everything. Oh, it's so cool. It's almost like a new way of doing things, actually. Planning seasons out so far in advance that you can do stuff in season 1, set up for the final season. I want to see more shows do this kind of thing, where they have it so planned out. Not a thing like how you just kind of do it season by season. This kind of planned out setup is so cool. I mean, compare this to The Walking Dead, where it's kind of they kind of stretched it out, kind of making it as it goes from season to next season, kind of thing. That's what it definitely feels like. Like it's kind of being made up as it goes along. This show seems to have been planned from the freaking beginning, almost all of it. Who knows? Maybe it was. Maybe everything was planned out. They knew they were gonna have 3 seasons. Everything was all set up. Who knows? But figuring it's awesome. I love stuff like this. It's so cool. So, last episode ended with oh my god, it was those 3 ladies, Australian ladies, who killed a guy named Kevin who was a sheriff or something. And they drowned him on what looks like like a cross or something, right? Because he's like Jesus and stuff. And then freaking out of the house near the pond they drowned him in. Guess who it is? It's freaking I forgot it. I forgot his name. But anyway, the freaking father. He's freaking Kevin's dad. It's Kevin's dad. And he's like, what you girls doing? He has no idea what they're doing right now. How did you get out there, freaking dad? You crazy? Or you look crazy, but I don't know anymore. I don't know. Maybe you're the one who figured it out. I'm thinking though that everything in Australia we've seen is actually in the future, and this may actually be way after. It's possible this is all after the guy wrote his book, which is why she knows who Kevin is. Because otherwise, it's so crazy to think that she just knows that Kevin is out there already. How does she know this? Where is this coming from? But it would make sense to me if Matt already finished his book. That's what I'm going with right now. Because right now, there's nothing to tie the 2 worlds together. The last time we saw Australia, it was Nora in the first episode, and she was old as all hell. So that's what I'm going to go with, is that so far we've seen the future is really old. But then again, the dad's still around. How old is he then if he's in this time? But that guy looks like he's been kicking around forever. He's not going to go down anytime. Maybe anytime soon. Maybe he figured out some kind of... he found the fountain of youth in Australia, I'm just thinking about it. Didn't Holly and Lost also have to go to Australia to find his something, right? Wasn't that in Australia as well? What does Lindelof? What does Damon like? Lindelof? Is that how you pronounce it? Is that why? What does he have? What does he? He has some kind of obsession with Australia. That there's something like mythical about the place or something like that. Who knows how? Who knows how that guy thinks? But it's interesting that he tends to do that in a lot of his shows. Anyway, before I go off for too long, that's about where we left off. Let's find out what the hell is happening in episode 3. I'll see you guys in a second.
Where's the book?
I could sit around and cry about how the world fucking ended, or I could start it up again.
Oh,
Where are you? I'm in Perth, son. I love you.
So they are gonna bring it back. Oh, this is it.
Personal Jesus.
What?
Things when you tend to
Like a
be
salesman.
confess. Yes. Jesus.
This is the dad.
Help
Cause
them!
he
Go
was
and help
chief.
them.
Oh shoot.
You know how long
He's
ducks
in Australia
hold their
and he listens to tapes of
No.
young Kevin. From Australian side?
breath? Okay.
Why does he have a cassette player? He's listening to it. It's a listening device. He's like taking vibrations off the glass or something. I don't know. So after they left, he went to do the same thing on their site.
What are you doing?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Preventing the apocalypse.
Are you serious?
What are you doing?
You can go. You don't get to keep that.
The player. Can I have it back, please? Please?
Kevin Garvey Jr. reporting.
Also, his name is Kevin too. Whoa. I wonder if they're gonna come. They're gonna come looking for him then. Those 3 ladies. That is still the only copy, though, right? Last time I checked, it was in Nora's hand. When did he get it? When did he get it?
Motherfucker!
What are you doing?
Told you, I am not a part of Kevin Jr.'s story. He's a part of mine.
Huh.
He's the one who guided me here.
Did you get the money I sent you?
He gave Matt money.
Well, just to help you out.
Now Matt gives him
Oh,
money.
really?
To just go through his life.
Matt
But
is not a
knowing
guy
any
who
of
rides
this
you.
would not be in it.
He will slap you in the ass with a paddle if you ask him
To
to.
pick up.
Why are you using the script? Why are you using that as an umbrella? Wait, I thought that was. Didn't he say he only had 1 copy?
I'm looking for a clever man named Christopher Sunday.
Let me see if I can
Let's.
get that address.
Son, Ollie, he wants to be an astronaut.
My son wanted to be an anchorman on the news.
Yeah, apparently.
Did you find him?
It seems that Chris lives in a
There you go.
community just a few.
People.
Save them from what? Oi!
Run like fuck.
Nayurun Tubar, Muramura and Garne. I'm sorry if I mispronounced. Are you Christopher Sunday?
Chris.
And I started doing what the voices told me. And do you know what I saw on that TV, Chris? A chicken.
What?
So I
See,
give this
the
guy my
chicken.
money, a guy puts the chicken in front of me. You gotta give Tony something to look for. So I said, purpose. I want some fucking purpose. Put it in the player and waited for one last voice to tell me what to do. Itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout and washed the spider out.
He just bounces out of us. I fail to see how this ends up here.
I believe the rains will come.
What? Why
A
7
great
years?
flood.
Like
I
Noah's
have
time.
to sing to make it stop.
Are you serious? So he
And
can
it
save
is
the
my
world.
understanding.
Start there.
Ooh.
Can you see the problem? Yeah, your swamp cooler's leaking like a motherfucker. Oh, shit.
There's still a chance, man.
We've got a deal.
Oh! Oh, shit. Did he knock him out
rolled
too?
the other way.
Oh
You
my
saw me,
God.
right?
You serious? Right now? After what you just did? Picking you out?
I'm sorry, I lost it.
You freaking, you hurt the guy and you made it all
Oh.
about you somehow.
Fucking.
I would have thrown him out too, though.
Hey!
Would you kill a baby if it would cure cancer?
No.
That is exactly what I said.
Wait!
Oh, Jesus, that's kind of a really crazy way to go.
I know what you're trying to do, but
I'm trying to stop the flood.
no!
Put him in the car. Of course, it's a snake. Religious symbols and all that.
Buddy.
It must be how he finds the girls. Oh, because his name is Kevin. They're going to say, are you Kevin? Oh, he looks terrible. It's cute.
Oh, hey
That
there.
looks like Toby.
What day is it? How long since we last talked?
3 weeks ago,
Oh my gosh.
look back to me. I gave the original.
I threw it away.
So that was a photocopy.
Look,
Okay.
I need
That was a lie.
Hospital.
He did
That's
make a copy.
core. I'm gonna need your help in getting to this hospital. Yeah?
Go fuck yourself.
What the hell? Is that a freaking arc? Okay, so this is not the same day.
You're building a boat
Uh-huh.
for the flood.
Holy shit.
I need to get to the hospital in Carippa.
You the fella that landed on him. He's dead.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow, they got 5 kids now. She doesn't know what his name is yet.
Hey,
She gonna do the same thing to you, boy. Don't tell him what your name is.
what are you ladies up to? Come on.
Oh, come on, man. Is that how you get along? You shoot everybody with a freaking dart?
Nice to meet you.
Her name is Grace. Of course.
I just killed a man.
Good. She almost said his name.
The registered girl vanished right in front of me. She was holding that box of Weet-Bix. He gave me confirmation that my family now sat by his...
So actually, it gave her peace.
For
But what
2 years
about
he
her?
spread his- Then I received a phone call. The remains of 5 children. Or if I had simply vanished like their father had. So
What?
they set out on foot.
Oh my
across the
gosh.
flats.
The father disappeared, and they didn't. They died. What?
I never even considered searching for them.
You mother found them? Oh no, that's terrible. That is awful.
This was in your hand.
Is that how they found the Kevin thing?
A page
Ah.
written like scripture. There's a police chief named Kevin. What are the chances of that?
What are the chances of that? That was
It
nuts.
had to be. But to help me talk to my children one last time.
That's what she wants. So she started making darts, man.
I thought you were sent by God. I've gone a bit crazy, haven't I?
That sounds crazy to me. Just trying to find someone trying to find purpose in life, just like everyone else.
You just got the wrong Kevin.
He's gonna settle down a path, man. Oh, that's it. Damn, that was good. I don't know what I was going for a second, but that was good. Okay, that was good. That was really good. Oh wait. Okay, I was wrong about. Okay, I was wrong about. He didn't. It wasn't like years and years into the future, so I was wrong about that. But this whole thing makes a lot more sense now. Yeah, geez, I don't know what his story. I don't know where it was going for a second there, because he looked really insane. And the more he did stuff, just made him look more like a freaking, once again, looking for purpose, right? He was, voices told him to go to Australia, and then he just kind of found his own purpose by, he found his own purpose by forcing himself to find some kind of meaning in something in Australia, any kind of meaning, and then found himself here. But there were some things happening now that are making me think it might not be as much of a crazy thing as it might have looked like at first. Because for a while there, he really just looked insane. But when he finally got to where he ended up, where he was supposed to go, they saved him and all that, and it looks like they're all preparing for a similar situation. What are the odds that they all found? When he said the flood, they were smiling. So he's not the only one thinking about this. And that is when it starts to be a little bit more crazy. You could say it's a collective delusion or something, but these people all found each other individually across the planet, looks like. These are all. I don't know if they're all from Australia though, but I mean, to me, it looks like they all came from different places. I'm not really sure yet. Actually, now that I think about it, they're all from Australia. But what are the odds that he showed up in the same place that they were? He wasn't influenced by anybody in Australia to come here, so it does. I can't really call in some kind of a collective hallucination kind of stuff. Collective, whatever, hysteria. It can't be because he had no connection to these people. He just came of his own accord. So there's got to be some kind of an authenticity to that somehow, however crazy it may be. And now the lady makes more sense. Although I still don't understand what that first episode was then, with Nora, which looks like way in the future. She's so old, and the lady is still there. That's the same lady, and she's still talking about Kevin. So what the hell? Does that mean she never? Does that mean she never went into Kevin? Then what's the point of all this? But at least now we have her story that makes a lot of sense. She found the note that was on him, and read it as scripture and took it as a sign. Because he was found where the kids had died. That connects him. That connects her to. That connects him. That makes her want to listen now because he was found at the cross. Brought him home. And then that's how she starts looking for Kevin. Because of the way he was found, she believes him to be a sign. He found the only other person there who believes in signs as much as he does. And took his being there as a sign. And now she's looking for Kevin's. And she killed the freaking dude. And the former police chief is now helping to basically he is aiding and abetting a murderer now because I don't think he's gonna turn her in. Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's wholeheartedly in it with her now. Jesus. And maybe he did belong in the freaking hospital because now he's helping her freaking with a killing, and he's telling her, no, you are right. You just found the wrong guy. So what's she gonna do now? She's just gonna keep going. Then that's what's gonna make her crazy. She's gonna bypass all that and say, it was worth it. The ends justify the means. She's but what if they're right? What if they're right? I don't know how this is gonna connect to what's happening with Nora then, but somehow. Is Kevin Jesus Christ? Is Kevin the New Testament, the new whatever, center of the Testament, of the book and all that stuff? And oh my goodness. They're all using him as some kind of a messianic figure for their own journeys now. They're finding purpose in him being the center of this whole thing. Or, sounds like Kevin Sr. wants to be the center of it all. But anyway, that was that. I don't know what you make of the fire thing. When he found the guy in the middle of... That was kind of random. But nothing in the show is ever fully random. I don't know. I feel like it's it's another little story that we may never know about. Or maybe it's connected to something that happened in an earlier season. Maybe not. But that guy put himself on fire. He said, would you kill a baby to cure cancer? And he said, no. And then he said, the other guy said, I would. I said the same thing. And then he lights himself on fire. I don't get it. They didn't take me. It doesn't make any sense because that was 7 years ago. Why is he burning himself now? If this had just happened, I'd understand it. But why is he just happened to freaking roast himself now? What did that lead to? He got roasted, and then that led to the rain, which caused the tapes to go out, which caused him to have to go wandering in the desert. Well, he was already wandering in the desert because they threw him out. but he had to wander. He just kept wandering in the desert after he lost his tapes. It didn't really lead into anything. So it's kind of random. I don't get it. Perhaps there is more to it. Or I feel like you're just gonna. That's it. That's it for that part. Another scene to speculate on. I want to be thinking about that for the rest of the day now. God damn it. Maybe someone can enlighten me on that one if there is no further progression on that. What the hell that was all about? He kind of just, I mean, well, to me, it seemed, to me, if I was to go on my first instinct, he said, would you kill a baby to cure cancer? So maybe metaphorically, I don't know if he's saying the exact thing, but the point is, I think what I'm getting from that is, would you do something terrible to stop something, to save some, to do something good? In other words, yeah, would you do something absolutely unthinkable, incomprehensible? Now, unthinkable is better. Would you do something unthinkable? Would you do the unthinkable to make something amazing happen, to save someone's life, to cure cancer for the world? You know what I mean? How far would you go? What would you do for a Klondike bar? Something like that. That's what I get out of that. And it sounds like to me like he failed, or he said he wasn't, and then he did, and he still wasn't taken or something. They didn't take me. Is it because he answered wrong? I don't know. I don't know what that's about yet. My initial impression though is that he was faced with a question that he answered. Okay, two things. Either he answered it honestly, no, and then something didn't take him. I don't know. Or he answered honestly and then he betrayed his own answer, and then burned himself. I don't know why. I feel like he only burned himself right after the guy. Right after Mr. Senior said no, and then he burned himself, because that to me sounds like, you said no, but you're gonna do it later or something. It's gonna happen. Looks like a guilty guy to me. Looks like he feels guilty for something. Like he regrets his answer, or he betrayed his own answer. I think that part puzzles the shit out of me more than anything else in the episode. But that was a freaking fantastic ending. Looks like he's gonna be spending some time with these girls here, setting some kind of thing up. And the lady didn't seem as crazy to me at first as I thought she was. She looked insane, but when she started talking, you understood where she was coming from. That was a great twist. When she thought that her whole family had been taken by God, she was happy. At least she understood where they went in her own mind. She was good with that. But then to find out only the dad had taken and the kids settled on their own is horrifying. I think she'd rather have not known that. That ruined her whole life, to think, if I had just gone after them, that makes me a terrible person, because I didn't even think to look for them. I was so convinced. This is why Nora is part of the DSD, right? Departures. What do you call it? Something. The Department of Sudden Departures. It's kind of a weird title, but when you understand, you have to know the show to know what that means. Because if you just told someone that, by the way, it's a weird. But by the way, it's a weird title, because if you were to just tell people out of the blue, it sounds like the weirdest, dumbest title. Department of Sudden Departures. Oh, I had to go all of a sudden. But when you know the show, it makes more sense. But this is why Nora is part of the DSD, because this is what the DSD does. They investigate people who claim to be departures and all that, because people went missing like that. Now there's all this fake claims, right? And you can never tell when someone disappeared or if it's just them trying to get away from you. So now it's easier than ever to just freaking leave and pretend like you. He departed, as we saw in last season. But this is a different story. This is messed up. And now she blames herself because she could have gone after them. She don't come off as crazy to me, or even somebody trying to rationalize things. She has what she believes in, but she can think rationally, and she could think of the other thing. That if she was really delusional, I guess she would have found a way to make her kids dying, her kids' bones. She would have tried to make that make sense with God. But because she didn't, I feel as though she is not that, she's not off a rocker kind of thing. She went back on her faith. I was wrong. To admit you're wrong is hard to do sometimes. Really hard to do, actually. For her to do that is actually a big step, and it says she's not She believes in one thing, but she's not insane, or she's not desperately devoted to it, where you cannot convince them. She's not a cult member, because the cults, like the Guilty Remnant, you couldn't even convince them. You could never convince them otherwise, because their minds are so worked up already. They've convinced themselves, and nothing you say will be able to break their illogical logic, because it has no logic to begin with. They've abandoned logic, so you cannot beat them with any logic anymore. They're gone. But with her, she is not in that state. And the funny thing is, even after all that, she blames herself, and she doesn't blame God. She says that she doesn't say there's no God. She says that God doesn't care about me. That's interesting, because that says that she still has her faith. Her faith is very strong, but just because of that doesn't mean she blames herself, blames God for everything, or is looking for an answer to it. And you know what I mean? She already believes in God, and she's not going to change that. But she knows when something was her fault versus something religious, I guess. But now that freaking Kevin Sr. has come into play, it's kind of like he's kind of manipulating the situation now. He's gonna, I don't know, man. He's now gonna aid her and her mother, and now she's gonna be kind of teetering off the edge of maybe she's a bit delusional now. He's gonna be able to convince her that what she did was fine, because it's gonna be worth it in the end. I don't know. They're going down a dark path, man. They're going down a bit of a crazy, loopy, dark path. Oh boy! But now we know where he is. We situated ourselves in Australia, and Kevin is heading here. So how does she not meet him? If in the future she's still asking questions, I gotta go check. I'm pretty sure that was her, and she's not. You know. She's still looking for Kevin, so I don't know. Don't know. But the real Kevin, I believe, is coming to Australia. This sets the whole thing up. Once he shows up, man, it's going to be nuts. If you're going to get to see his little, his conjugation, man, they're going to be big. It's going to probably be even bigger by the time he gets there. I don't know what's going on here, man. We got a real Jesus thing going on or what? We're going to find out as the show goes on. I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh.